Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to speak about the subject of positive thinking is the key to success. What do I mean by that? Well, just off the bat, if you really think about it, who wants to be around somebody that is not positive, right? People usually always are kind of attracted to the person that is smiling, happy, positive. So it just makes sense that if somebody is negative in their way of looking at life, they would not be successful. So for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's sometimes tough to always be positive because we, in just our general life, will always have one problem or the other. Could be I have no money, could be taxes are too high, could be a bad relationship, could be my car broke down, stuff like that. And these things can really, really change your way of thinking, and it can really ruin your day sometimes. And I've heard some people say stuff like, wow, this year has been such a bad year, or wow, this is just a bad day. But you're just basing it on one or two events. If, for example, you got a flat tire in the morning, does it necessarily mean that you're going to have a bad day? You had a bad hour changing your tire. Same with counting things in years or weeks or whatever it is. It's don't forget that time is man-made. So even though you might have had a bad or rough week, or even bad 3 or 4 months, you don't have to necessarily wait for it to be the next year for your situation to get better. It can get better at any time. Everything is pretty much random anyways. So that's what I'm thinking. Why would you just block yourself? Because the thing is that if you think that you are having a bad day, it's often the perception of what you feel, of how the world is around you, that makes a situation good or bad. So sometimes when the situations are bad, well, you might as well laugh about it. That's why they always say that's the people who usually recover from bad injuries or illnesses and stuff like that are usually the people who are extremely positive and who just are able to joke around even when things are at the worst. And even people who die from an illness or something like that, trust me, the person who was positive actually had a much better experience. The situation in the end, of course, results in death or whatever that thing is, if that's in the worst case scenario. But hey, at least they were able to laugh about the whole situation or take it in a positive way, and at least they made the best out of a very bad situation, if that makes sense. And that kind of goes the same way with success. People sometimes are lucky enough to get born in the right family or have that $1 million idea. But even if they have that $1 million idea, it's again about being at the right time, right place, and also the way that you are actually going to execute that idea. Because everybody has ideas. Everybody has probably that $1 million idea for the most part. But the thing is that not everybody is going to try to execute it. And by that I mean put their money where their mouth is, if that makes sense. So that's the difficult part, because that takes a lot of risk, and that takes being positive too, because usually the people who are very successful are people who kind of go against the grain. They go against what society has told them in some way. That's why there's so many moguls and so many people who are successful who basically didn't go all the way with their college or university studies, they basically maybe even started their studies a lot of the time. Then maybe they saw that their idea was already there and they didn't want to waste time. So the thing is that you can't really just ignore that, if that makes sense. So you have to be able to just take that idea and go with it. So you have to be sure not to give up. If you have an idea, be positive about the things, but then don't really ignore them, because if you think already negatively, you're not going to succeed. And there's no way to succeed if you think negatively. And again, it's kind of like magnetism. You have to be positive in order to have that positive vibe, in order to even attract the negative people, because a positive cannot attract a positive and a negative will not attract a negative. Does that make sense? It's kind of weird to say. And I'm not trying to tell you to attract negative people, but I'm trying to say be positive, because usually, and also try to have like another surrounding people around you that are positive too, and you will see, like, the moment you get into the room or whatever it is, people will just say, who are these people? Who are these fun people who are laughing, who are enjoying life, who are doing things? And they will just attract. And you just want to be able to attract people, because that's usually the people that succeed. If you really look at it again on television, it's not necessarily how smart you are, but how social you can be in some way. And unfortunately, the society sometimes really praises and rewards the people who are funny, outgoing, talkative, and just positive. And even people who do dumb stuff sometimes, if they have those other basically ideas such as the positiveness, because people have a struggle for that. And also, if they watch television or if they watch anybody on stage or whatever it is, they want to be able to flee away, to run away from their life. So if they have that, then they are able to, how can I say, if you have those things, if you are able to fake it in some way, and then the faking the happiness becomes true happiness, because that's the thing too, is you have to try to make it joyful for real in some way, at least to some extent. Then it's kind of contagious, and the people around you will flock to that. They will praise that. So that's why you have to be positive. You cannot be negative. If you are negative, you're basically gonna have people running away from you. They're gonna say, nah, that person's not cool. I don't want to be around that person. I don't want to be around a Debbie Downer. So just think about that and make your life successful, because in the end, it's you, your actions, whatever you have to say, that will create that. And if you don't, well, I mean, you can still be successful, but it'll be more for a job that might utilize your idea, your brain, and then you're going to have a spokesperson in front of it. But usually these jobs, even though you're doing a lot of the really ingenious stuff in the background, in the backstage, you're not the one that's going to get rewarded the most. It's going to be, again, the person that has the idea, or the person that knows how to explain that to people and make whatever you're writing into something genius. Okay, have a great day, and talk to you soon.